I'm Tisha.
I'm Loren.
And this is the Open Booked podcast. Today, we are talking about Paper Roses by Debby Show. But first, what are you reading? And what did you read this week?
I love this question every week. I just finished in the wee hours of this morning, This Fall I Want by Lyra Parrish. If I'm mispronouncing it, I'm so sorry. It might be Lyra. This book, I went to start it a few weeks ago and then just got tied up with some books we were covering and other things. And I last night have been in a little bit of a slump and decided I wanted a rom-com-y romance, also a moment for the edges. And I read this book. I started like 4 pages. Okay. I read the rest of the 395 last night. Amazing. It's so cheesy. It's so hallmarky. It is so cute. It also has like some not really supernatural elements, but some other elements that are like fun, Hallmark style with lots of spice. Good spice.
Okay.
Loved it. Also, I finished Paper Roses this week that we're covering, and I'm trying to get back on track with my reading goals. So Alchemized put me a little bit behind. We're getting back on track. What about you?
I struggled this week. I finished several, but also started and DNF'd too.
Okay.
Which, if you've been listening for a while, you know, is not the norm. Like, just don't really do that. So I started and DNF'd Sure, I'll Join Your Cult by Maria Bamford. I think it would be better if I was reading it, but I was listening to it and it's narrated by the author who is also a comedian. So it was too much joking, and it's about mental health. So I was like, I'm not in the right headspace for this many jokes about mental health and suicidal ideation right now. So maybe not a good one. And then Sing Unburied Sing by Jesmyn Ward. That's my problem. It is the third in whatever the series is. So I just couldn't get into it. It was really slow and I just couldn't. So might pick it up later. Yeah. So other than that, I finished Made by Stephanie Land, which is a Netflix show, which I've already seen the show. And it is much more dramatic than the book, but both are really good. True story. And then I started and finished the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires by Grady Hendrix. So good.
That's been on my TBR for a long time.
So good. It's definitely worth it.
Did you read Kindle or how did you? Audio?
Audio. Yeah, on Libby.
Libby, okay. I have the paperback version. Yeah. I just have been sitting there.
And then last night I started, after I finished Paper Roses, I'm Thinking of Ending Things by, I don't know if it's an I or an L, A-I-N Reed. Lane. It looks like Lane Reed.
Okay.
It's also a Netflix show, it says. I've not seen it before, but it's a short, like 5-hour listen. So I was like, all right. Palate cleanser.
It's so funny how book people, when I say book people, I mean specifically audiobook people, which I feel like we fall into this category, will see a 8 or less hour read as a 1-day deal. Like, you're like, especially if it's on 1 speed and it says 8 hours, I'm like, yeah, bro, that's a 4-hour, maybe less read for me. Unless it's fantasy or romantasy, then we slow it down a little bit more. But if it's like a normal world, I'm like 2 reading speed, maybe 2.25, maybe even 2.5, depending on the narrator.
Yeah.
And so it's like, that's just a quick and easy read. And some people would be like, that's a week for me.
Yeah.
So funny.
Yeah.
No hate either way, but it's just funny. Like Allie, our friend, which you guys might see her popping up doing some social media stuff for us. Alchemized took me, which I thought I did it really fast in a couple of weeks because my goal was the entire year. She read the 1100 pager, not Alchemized, sorry, Manacled.
I was like, wait, we haven't read that yet.
Wait, no. She read it in 6 days.
Oh my God.
She's done. And I was like, holy cow. But she'll read through stuff, whereas we're not. We try, and sometimes we will, but, me reading an almost entire paper book last night is insane.
Yeah.
It's, normal for some people, but anyways, teach their own.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have some book hauls.
Oh, yeah.
You want to go first?
Sure. I only have a couple. Well, 3. First, book of the month, Violet Thistlewaite is Not a Villain Anymore by Emily Krimpholtz. This is an early release that we got for book of the month because I don't think it comes out until like the 18th or 25th even.
I'll get it. It's Not a Villain Anymore. November 18th. This episode airs 3 days after this book comes out. But we got it on like the 3rd or the 4th.
Yeah, so that's my book of the month. And then I'm a major Harper Lee fan.
Oh, you got one? Or did I give you one?
You gave me one. But then we also have them on our website for anybody that wants them.
Those work great. Obviously, you're seeing this live in action.
Yeah.
Every sticker I've come across, it does a good job. But
beautiful. No residue or anything. I'm leaving my Barnes & Noble special edition. But I really got this one because as you were talking about binding a book, like the pages, I don't know if you can see on this, like they're like very rough cut, which just gives me old handmade book vibes.
Mm-hmm.
So The Land of Sweet Forever by Harper Lee. And then I got this one for me and Keaton.
Beautiful.
This is from the Hawthorne Legacy series, I believe. It is the .0, so it's like a prequel, but it's the same backward as forward. It says it's a hate marked out love story, and it says read her story, then flip the book over to read his. So it is like 2 separate books. So like right in the middle, there's a spot where these converge right here.
Mm-hmm.
So it's one-way text, and then you get to here and you have to flip it over, and then the text is the other way.
That is so cool. And look at those edges.
Oh yeah, so beautiful.
Is that the ocean?
Yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm like, gotta have this because we've read all of them, and this is one of the characters. Her name is Hannah, which is the same backward as forward. So that's the name of the book. So I'm like,
I love it.
So it's a 2-fer.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah, very unique. Girl math, you got 1 book for free.
Yep.
Okay, my book haul. I got several of my subscription boxes in after last week, which I have since canceled. We've talked about this, but they're still trickling in. This one I'm really excited about. I've actually read this book, but I didn't have it like physically, so this is a trophy for me. I'm really excited about this. So this is my bookish box. I've canceled it, but I still have 3 more boxes coming after this one because they're 4 months behind. Black Ties and White Lies, Kat Singleton. I found this on TikTok like 2-3 years ago when I first started reading. I'll just show the edges and then I'll show the other book. Okay, so cute. And this I actually think might be my favorite. Look how pretty that is.
Yeah, that's like holographic.
Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful. And they're all signed just like the other ones.
And inside of the sleeve is even pretty.
Yeah, it's beautiful. Look, it's like a skyline. Beautiful.
Wild.
These books are expensive. The subscription box is expensive, but I'd say these are very limited signed editions. So get what you pay for there. Also, I made a little Barnes & Noble run because I had a rough week and my husband just told me on Friday, let's go to Barnes & Noble and you get 3 books. So.
Bet. Say less, please.
Actually, he offered to get me more. He's like, only 3? And I was like,
I mean, I could go
I'm trying to be better. I'm trying to be better. So I got this Good Spirits by B.K. Borison, which, spoiler alert, we're covering this next week. So I thought must. And it's
I almost got that too.
Really?
Yeah. I was like,
we're so alike. Yeah. So I got this. And then I got Jenna Levine, Road Trip with a Vampire. I've read the first 2 in these. I have one of them back here. And then the other one is my vampire. This one's my Vampire Plus one, and the first one is My Roommate is a Vampire. And it's like comedy. It's not like spicy. I mean, it's a little spicy, but it's not dark at all. It's like funny. And so that's why I like it. And then Light Lark, which I have all the books we haven't read yet because I know we're going to cover them at a certain point. We have covered another Alex Astor book. I got the Dueling Crowns edition of the Grim Oro, which I haven't looked at it yet. It might be like that book you were just showing.
Ooh.
I'm guessing it is.
Okay.
This is a live reaction, guys. Okay, so here's Oro. Yeah, it is. This must be a new thing.
I love it, though. Yeah.
Yep, we're upside down. This is
Authors
fun.
take note. Yeah, this is so exciting.
How did we both get one of these on the same trip? Okay, how fun. So when I get to this part in the series, I'll read it. Okay, book of the month. I got 2 this month. First one, we already talked about. Second one, an academic affair. It looked bookish, so.
Yeah.
Okay, my Illyrial box. Now, I think we've talked about this. The only 2 subscription boxes that I still have are Book of the Month and Illyrial. Illyrial is owned by Book of the Month, so I pretty much just have 1 subscription box in girl math purposes. Illyrial is only romantasy special editions with sprayed edges. So, if you're into that sort of thing. No, there's no referral code. I tried to find one yesterday, and there isn't. Like Book of the Month, we could put a code. You get a book for $5, I think. We get a free book, or vice versa.
Yeah.
There's none for this yet. It's new. It's only been out since, I think, April. So, still probably working through that. This first one is Thrown in the Jar.
I almost bought that yesterday, too.
I know. I saw it there in a paperback with sprayed edges, right?
Yeah.
It is beautiful. And this is what I love, guys. These Illyrial Book of the Months are the same size. They are going to look great when I get my library done and have the same size on the shelves. This, I've heard that these are spicier this month than normal.
Okay.
So, okay. Next one, The Sacred Space Between. Edges are interesting. I see a dragon, so it piqued my interest. A little dragon shadow. And then Our Vicious Oaths. But I saw this at Barnes & Noble, too.
Yeah, I saw it, too.
I love these edges. Yeah. So, those are my Illyrials. Every month for Illyrial, because they're all sprayed edges, I've picked all 3 of them. There's only 3 options. Whereas Book of the Month, you get 5 or 6. One's included, then you get add-ons. So far, I've done all 3. I really need to chill, but I'm having too much fun. So
yeah, and they're so pretty. Like,
they're so pretty.
It's art on its own.
Yeah, it really is, and they're all special edition romantasies, like perfect size. It's a win-win-win. If you ask me. Yeah. And it's $23, I think, or $20 for the add-ons. Those books at Barnes & Noble would probably be $29, and they wouldn't be the same size as my other ones on the bookshelf. So I feel like it's a bargain.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to the next bit here. We've gone through our book hauls. If you don't follow our TikTok, you need to, but I discovered something new about Throne of Glass that I wanted to share with the class. I did not know, so I figured other people don't know. Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas was originally called Queen of Glass. And when she was 16 years old, she wrote it and uploaded it to a free public website called fiction.com, which I have learned is a way a lot of authors get started, by uploading there, and publishers look. So maybe something we need to look into. Yeah. There's fanfic websites, but then there's also original work websites. Fiction.com is the main one that I've seen. It was called Queen of Glass. And I'm not going to say anything that's spoilery, but let's just say that Selena ends up with somebody different. And it is interesting. It's not complete, because mid-publishing, or mid her posting, she gets signed and they take it down. On Reddit, they still have the original Queen of Glass. So I found it, and I am attempting to bind my own book. It's going okay.
We're not going to try to sell this. We're not going to try to make profit off of this. We know it's illegal. We're not going to do that. So
it's for me, myself, and I.
Don't even think about coming at us.
Yeah, don't come at me that fanfic or whatever is illegal. It is perfectly legal for me to make a publicly posted work for my own personal use, and that's exactly what I'm doing, okay? Yeah. It's legal. And it's hard. So I've made a whole mini-series on TikTok of my trials and tribulations throughout the process. So if you're interested in that sort of thing, go follow along. It's good fun. Maybe I'll do it again. Maybe I will never do it again. But for right now, it is satisfying my feminine urge to do something crafty.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah, one other note before we jump into the book. Book Outlet, we've talked about them a little bit before. Great website. I have ordered from them multiple times. They have started their Black Friday sale, and it is insane. $5.99 fiction books. Some of them are hardcover sprayed edges, y'all.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
It was really hard for me shopping last night because I was like, I wonder if I could find this on Book Outlet.
Searching. The deal is it's very limited, hit or miss with what they have in stock and what they don't. I don't know exactly where they get all their books, but I've gotten books from them that have Target stickers, Walmart stickers, Barnes & Noble stickers. I don't know if it's overstock, returns, whatever, but all of them have been in great condition. I had one like pin mark on the side of one that I was like, I don't care because I got it for $5. So yeah, check them out. They'll is live now. I don't know how long it lasts. Great experiences and great. They even have some special editions for like the OGs, like Frankenstein, Jane Austen books, The Great Gatsby, like just classics in beautiful editions. So go check it out. Okay.
Surely it'll go through because this post's on the 21st. So surely it'll go through at least Black Friday. So you'll have time.
Yeah, it's called the Black Friday sale. So I'd say we've got time, guys.
All right.
We ready?
Mm-hmm.
And we do have a special treat for you guys at the end of this episode as well.
Yeah.
You have to keep listening to find out.
Yep. So spoilers for Paper Roses by Debby Show. Do you want to read the blurb? Because I don't have it handy.
It's in a different spot in every book. Okay. This one's on the back. Are we ready? Some families leave you money, others leave you scars. Based on a true story, Paper Roses is a sweeping, emotionally resonant novel from the sister of Tracy Show, Hatsana, the New York Times featured serial con artist, about family secrets, inherited trauma, and the long shadow of betrayal. When Abigail Jones learns her sister Nikki's third arrest, she's pulled into a spiral of questions. Was it fate, family, or something buried even deeper? As Abigail begins to piece together the past, she uncovers a trail of silence and survival that stretches across continents and generations. From a 1940s Moroccan household where a young maid quietly bears witness to the origins of a generational wound, to the sun-washed suburbs of 1970s California, and finally to 2023. Told through podcast transcripts, court documents, and splintered memory, Paper Roses follows Abigail's search for answers, her confrontation with the sister she thought she knew, and her reckoning with a legacy neither of them could escape. A haunting story of loyalty, silence, and the cost of breaking free, Paper Roses is perfect for readers of The Vanishing Half, Little Fires Everywhere, and The Paper Palace.
Yeah. So what'd you rate it?
I would have given 4.5 if I had halves, but I gave it a 4. Solid, enjoyable read. Not a usual genre for me. I am glad that I read it, though, because I feel like my eyes are open to a new genre that I usually wouldn't have picked. So.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Love that.
What about you?
Yeah, same. I gave it a 4.5, rounded up to 5, just because she didn't have any ratings on Goodreads. So I was like, let's try to boost her a little bit. But yeah, like you said, good story. Yes, there's some fiction added in because obviously you can't know what's in someone's mind on their deathbed. But yeah, really good story. I will read like historical fiction or autobiographies every once in a while, just because I think people are so interesting, and like learning the how and why of what people do is fun and scratches an itch in my brain that probably is terrifying at sometimes. But I did struggle, I won't lie, in the first 5, 6, maybe 7 chapters just to like get my mind in the right headspace to enjoy it. But once it kind of started moving and I knew who the main characters were, it all was kind of exciting to read.
Yeah. I agree with that. And I also did not Google in advance. I wanted purposefully to go into this with like a clean slate I didn't want anything from the internet. So
yeah,
I went in, took me a minute to grasp the moving pieces. I really got into it when it clicked for me, when I realized, we went back to Morocco and then the French references from the beginning. Like it all started to click for me when I was like, okay, here's the players and here's how they're connected. Yeah. And I realized Nanette was the mom, and just that all clicked for me and I really got into it. My first note on this book is I loved the different points of view and the timelines. I feel like that was a really interesting way to tell this story, and I'm sure that took a lot of time and research to get that, and the author put herself in these headspaces of the times, and also all of the different culture references, and some things just passed down through generations, which I think is the whole, premise of this book, is how the family got to where it ended up. But some things are passed down, like all the references of Moroccan house, like clean house and the cooking and things like that. I really enjoyed that. And I don't see that very often. Yeah. So that was really fun for me as a reader to see those like cultural references that, you know, even though they've been in America for however long, they still stick true to like those cultural things, which I think is what's so cool about America. So I loved that. Also, the tension with Jews and such is just still so prevalent today, and it's been going on for generations, centuries, literally centuries. And it's just, I'm sure, like I said, lots of research went into this, and I want to say I appreciate that because I really enjoyed getting to see like the different points of view and timelines there for sure. Also, I want to mention the Duggar reference.
Yeah, I thought that was hilarious. I died when I saw that. I was like, we can't escape it anywhere. Just
Debbie, if you're listening, we live where they live.
This really hits home.
This really hits home for us. When the Duggar reference was made, I said, yep, we will never escape Duggar.
Nope, never.
Anyways, I also wanted to mention the career path that Abigail chose. And I think it's an interesting point, which is made in the book, is people get into the, I want to say, a generic term for the field while including everything. Psychology, mental health.
I mean, really, a lot of that is just like social work field. Like, yeah. Because it can encompass, you know, all of it. Police, fire.
Yep.
Like civil servants.
Civil servant field, you have to have a personal reason. And I think that is mentioned in the book, and I just wanted to bring that back up again. Like, I feel like that's so true. It's one of those fields, like, you don't just want to do for no reason. Like, it's a passion thing. And I think that's really, really cool and something worth noting, that you have something happen or something happen to someone you know or someone close to you or inside your family, and you decide to pursue to make the world a better place. And that is amazing.
Yeah, I didn't really take a lot of notes because I was just like absorbed in the story. And like you said, once you understand who the players are, and especially going through the timeline, because Debbie does a really good job of like putting it in chronological order for you, and then adding in like the newspaper snippets of stories of things going on around her and her family, her sister, and just trying to understand why and how she personally overcomes it and helps even her son and her ex-husband, because they got divorced, right?
Yeah.
How she, like, as a unit, how they all kind of move past that stigma of their family member. It's like that guilty by association thing. Like, you assume just because one person's a con artist, maybe the whole family is. Like, they learned it somewhere, but a lot of times that's just falling in with the wrong crowd. Yeah, it's hard to overcome that.
Yeah. I think this gets back to nurture versus nature again. That argument could be talked about in almost every situation. But I just want to say mad props, Debbie, for telling your story. We enjoyed reading it, and the way that you set it up, phenomenal. We thoroughly enjoyed it.
Is that all we have? We have Debby Show, the author of Paper Roses, joining us. So we'll go through a few questions that we had for her after reading the book and just get her perspective. Hey, as I said, we have Debby Show joining us as the author of Paper Roses. So we'll let you kind of take it away and give us your elevator's speech.
Okay. First, I want to say thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you having read and dissected my book. Just a little bit about me. I've always been a writer. I've been a school psychologist, really. So in the trenches, working with families, and I would say for the last 15 years, half of my time has been spent writing reports. And I really get into the narrative, writing about families, trying to help kids get into the best possible placements. Just really sharpened my skills as a writer. You have to know what to put in, what not to put in. And I've always been a writer anyway. I've written some short stories, unpublished. But when my sister got arrested, I got a phone call from the New York Times asking me what my opinion was. And of course, I didn't know anything about it. And so here I was, all geared up to do testing, all the COVID equipment, the shields, the face mask. And I'm sitting there going, oh my gosh, this is a story that has to be told. I've always wanted to tell it, but it's a kind of a bombshell story that landed in my lap. So I was compelled to tell the story.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're very glad you did. We probably should have led with this. This isn't a usual genre for me, and I read it and loved it, and so thank you for helping me discover a whole new genre of books to enjoy.
Well, it was kind of a little mix because it's like there's a little true crime in there. Kind of because a lot of it is true.
Yeah.
So people who like true crime might find it interesting. Of course, they'll have to get through the first part, which is kind of like a family drama, a historical fiction, and kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah. And one thing we said earlier when we were talking about it, we really enjoyed how you did. I'm going off script here from the question, sorry. We really enjoyed how you did the different timelines to progress the story. Like going back in time and the different points of view, that made it more compelling for us to continue to read. Once we figured out here's who the main players are and here's how everyone kind of connects, it made it flow really well, and we enjoyed that, the way you did that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I had a writing coach, honestly, that I paid a lot of money, but it was worth it to help me. Every 2 weeks to once a month, I got together with her. And in the beginning, it was tough. I don't know if you've written before, but first drafts are rough. And so, but we got through it. I got through it. And so thank you. I appreciate that. She gave me some of those ideas, how to structure the book.
Yeah. I can see that being hard, not knowing where to start.
Yeah.
Kind of start in the middle.
Right.
Yeah. So you touched lightly on it in the book on how time with Sarah might affect Abigail's business. Just having to disclose to patients that she's kind of in this probationary period. Assuming that is fictional, that wouldn't actually have had any effect on you personally, your business, correct?
Yeah, that was definitely fictional. I had to have a little bit of a redemption arc.
That's encouraging.
Yeah. I wanted not only a redemption arc, but I wanted also the fact, hey, Abigail has some of Nikki's DNA, right? And so who knows, that nature nurture piece, and maybe is there something in her that, maybe she could be wearing an orange jumpsuit? How far apart are we? And one of the things that came up is the narrator of the book is actually, because some of Tracy's friends who were victims as well contacted me, and I made really good friends with one of them. Her name is Lorianne Hart, and she's an actress. She ended up being the narrator of my audiobook.
Okay, so when you aren't writing, what genres do you enjoy reading most?
Well, I really like women's fiction, and I've come to really like authors where English is not their first language, historical fiction. And I also just finished reading, it just came out the same day my book came out, The Mad Wife, which I thought was excellent.
Okay.
But I like this author. She's way more experienced than me, but her name is Elif Shafak, and she's a Turkish writer. And she wrote a kind of a story very much like mine, something 30 seconds, and it goes back and forth in time. Excellent book. Then I went and read, of course, once I like an author, I go back and I read everything else that they wrote.
Yeah.
We do that too.
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
What does your writing or creative process kind of look like?
That's a good question because I'm a self-diagnosed ADHD, and I get into this hyper-focus thing where I can just write and write and write and write, and it just like focused on one thing, and that's it, which I think is kind of the gift of ADHD that I've self-diagnosed. And so I'm more of a pantser, honestly, because I think that's part of the whole creative process for me. But then I have to go back and fix it. I have to go back and, okay, this is the outline. Once I've started it, I can go back to the outline and have something, but then it really changes, where other people have to have everything really plotted out. I don't do that. I don't think I'm capable of it, honestly.
Yeah, I fully understand that.
Yeah.
How do you find the time to write while still working? I know you said you have summers off, but you've been working on this book for a while. Is it, you get locked in on a weekend, or what does that time look like for you?
Yeah, so I don't have, I'm really lucky that I don't have any kids at home, and I have friends and stuff, but I got locked into writing. So sometimes I'd spend a whole Saturday, and then I got tired of that because you'd spend your whole weekend writing, Saturday and Sunday. And so then I got to the point where I'd get off work, and then I'd stop at like Panera that had free Wi-Fi, and I'd sit there till like 8:30 or 9 o'clock, 3 days a week. So then I wouldn't have to write on a Saturday. I just figured it out. Starbucks, home, wrote a lot from home. But I I think I was just driven to write this story. So I just made the time. But again, it's a luxury. I mean, I realized that, when I was raising my kid and married, it's hard to carve out the time. It's almost impossible because your life is just not your own sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Hugh spoke of Abigail atoning in Mexico. Obviously, we know that the part that would require atonement, as we see it in the story, didn't happen. So, what was that fictional too, as far as he was concerned, or was that kind of somewhat real and you embellished on it, or how did that look?
Yeah, so it was somewhat real, and I embellished on it. My father, his name wasn't Hugh, but my father was a really flawed character, very loving, but very, very flawed, very similar to the book, honestly. And I gave him a good ending. The real ending was alone and no opportunity for atonement, no opportunity for any of that. So that's a nice thing about fiction. I could have written a burn it all down memoir, where I stuck to the truth. But in fiction, you get to move, someone said it perfectly, you get to move the chess pieces around. So, I mean, almost all fiction is going to be autobiographical anyway. I don't care if you're writing sci-fi or what you're writing. But it was nice to take a true story and then move the chess pieces around. It's very healing for me. And then I think for my granddaughter, who's going to be born in about a week, when she reads it, she'll get to read about her family in a way that's, empathic and maybe not 100% true, but,
Got it. I think that kind of leads nicely into our next question as well. Did you feel when you were writing this book, you were able to draw closer to your heritage and your own family, and understand the trials and tribulations that your ancestors faced?
Yes, I did. The stories that I got, so I'm lucky in that I have two sisters actually, and I'm lucky that I do have some memories of Morocco, of going there. And there was really a Yasmina, that wasn't her name, but I met her once, wrote a whole book around her. But I did draw closer because I did a lot of research on Morocco and what happened, just back maybe 2,000 years about the relationships between, they called them the Berbers and the Jews and all of that, and the poverty that people experienced. And so then I was able to understand my family's narcissism and my grandmother's desire to, like, whatever it takes, right? By hook or by crook, she's going to make it. She's going to get her family out of, in a good situation. So yeah, it did help a lot. It helped me understand my mom too.
Yeah.
Okay. Was it hard to metaphorically kill Nikki in the book, or did she suffer that death long before and this was just kind of a severing of those ties?
Yeah. Okay. You know what? I love that question. I had a beta reader read this book, and she said, there's no way that a fiction reader is going to feel satisfied with the ending you have. There has to be karma. There has to be a just end. So I wrote something. It was very camp. I mean, if you recall the ending, it was just in a way very humorous and very camp and just like not very long. But I think in a memoir, I guess you can get away with it, I've been told. But in fiction, there's no way. There has to be some sort of closure for a fiction reader to feel good.
Yeah. Yeah. I felt it was pretty fitting that Nikki got hit by a bus.
Yeah.
And she
Definitely
had
caught me off
tacos.
guard, which I liked. I was like, oh, okay. Yeah.
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 I had an editor tell me
Very
I had to
good.
have a line in front of that because when I first wrote it, I didn't have anything. So I kind of prepared the reader just like one sentence before going into it. But yeah, that was a shock. Yeah.
Yeah. So, next question. How true is the story of the tiny stars of David, the necklace Uli gave Abigail?
I want to say that it's metaphorically true because my son and my daughter-in-law and I have this wonderful, wonderful relationship because a lot of this other stuff is true about how my son grew up. Most of that is true. And so we were in a way dangerously too close for a mom and his son, and we're still pretty close, but he's got his own family now. But yeah, we had to be very, very close. We were all we had. So when you're all you have, it's just the two of you and it's a little awkward sometimes. So no, that did not happen.
Yeah.
Sorry. All the things you really love didn't happen. And That's the problem with autobiographical fiction is like when you write the truth, it's not as interesting. When you deviate, it's like the part that people really love.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We thought it was all interesting, if it's any consolation.
Oh, thank you. Did you like the part about the house in Malibu, Pacific Palisades? Tracy's, or I should say, Nikki's house.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nikki's house for sure.
Yeah, I didn't mean to be funny. You know, the narrator said your book is really funny, but I didn't mean to be. But it was like sometimes you have to be to deal with trauma.
Yeah. Yeah. And sometimes trauma on its own, looking from the outside in, is kind of funny in a sad way. As much as you don't want it to be funny and you don't want to laugh at it, there's no escaping it.
Yeah. You know, the dad, Hugh's, you know, revolving door of girlfriends, you know, who were like 40 years younger than he is. That did happen after my mom died. And I just had to give her the name. I thought of the biggest stripper name I could possibly think of. We were all worried he was going to get somebody pregnant. We were going to end up having to raise the child. I was like 45 years old and I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to have to raise my sibling. So I thought of the most stripper name that I could think of, which is Misty. And then I gave her the most normal middle name. So Misty Jane. Talking about Misty Jane, and oh my God, to me, I still laugh thinking about Misty Jane.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah. I love that backstory. That's hilarious.
So you said you've always kind of been a writer. What is next on the horizon for you?
Yeah, so I'm hoping that this isn't a bit more than I can chew. I have this idea, but I'm going to have to team up with somebody, okay? I have this idea to go more into the Japan story because I think that's really interesting about how 200,000 models a year were like recruited to go into Japan to work as quote unquote models. And they were actually working in these hostess clubs, which is kind of like a geisha girl, but lower end. And it, you know, you have to entertain men and then they don't really give you enough to live on. So you have to do more than that in order to survive. I don't know. Ashley Judd wrote about it in her book because she was one of those girls that went over there. And around the same time, my sister went over. And so I'd like to do kind of a romance-ish kind of book where, okay, this sounds really weird. Okay, you guys. So it's just in the infancy. I wanted to do where the main character was high-functioning autism, female, because that's a big deal now, but, you know, barely noticeable. She's masking it. So it's not like she's acting, you know, she's masking really well. That's going to be a challenge to do. And then her sister gets stuck in Japan. And then she's got this romance going, you know, kind of an awkward romance going with some. And then she goes over to Japan. I haven't really fleshed it out, but I don't think I want to know enough about hostess culture in Japan to be able to pull it off. But that's my thoughts. I'd have to really pull that one off.
Yeah.
I think it would grab people's attention for sure. I think, I mean, I'm at attention right now. I read it. Yeah. We're sold.
Yeah. Thank you. And I always kind of wanted to write like an awkward romance where the two people are like a little off maybe, but they find their way to each other in the end. And, you know, it works out. Or maybe it doesn't work out, but I want it to work out. So that was the idea behind the autism because the guy has something wrong too. He's got like attachment wounds. So they both like somehow get together. Yeah.
Make him a billionaire and it'll all work out.
There you go.
Right. He's a secret billionaire. Nobody knew.
Works like a charm every time.
It used to be millionaire. Now it's billionaire.
Yeah. Well, sign us up for the ARC because we will definitely read it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks.
Well, I think that's all the questions we have. Thank you again so much for joining us and taking the time to both send us the book and reach out and answer the questions so we can get to know you and Abigail a little bit better.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate it. I had one kind of awkward, like Yasmina, English is not her first language, and I was a little worried about how I wrote her. So that's my only kind of insecurity. People seem to like her though. So
Oh yeah, we loved her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Very likable character, for sure.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You did great.
Thanks. I appreciate it.
Very great for a debut.
Thank you.
And we're so happy that you were able to join us and talk through it. We're fangirling a little bit over here. having a real life author on our pod, but
yeah. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
All right. We will let you go. And again, thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story with us, because it definitely gave us a laugh and just helped us connect a little bit better to the culture and to empathizing with wanting to hit somebody with a bus, but not actually doing it.
Yeah.
That's right.
For sure.
Take care. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right. That is all that we have for Paper Roses. And hopefully we can continue to do this with other authors, and hope you guys enjoy it.
Yeah, absolutely. And another note is, if you are an author and you have a book you'd like us to cover and you want to promote your book, please email us, message us, something. We would love to have you. We would love to read your book. We would love to support you. We are all about supporting others and helping others grow. So if you have anything coming out in the next year, shoot us a message, or maybe it's already out. We'll cover it. Yeah, we'd love to support authors.
And next week, what are we covering?
We're covering a Christmas book.
Yes.
Good Spirits, B.K. Borison.
Yes. So check that out, and we will talk to you guys later.
Bye.